heart raced with excitement. Could this be the beginning of an adventure? Without hesitation, Tomas followed the glowing trail, deep into the forest. The air around him grew cooler, but the light from the path kept him warm and comforted. Soon, he reached a clearing where the trees formed a perfect circle, and in the center was a magical garden. The flowers bloomed in shades of silver, blue, and lavender, glowing softly as if touched by moonlight. At the heart of the garden stood a delicate fountain made of crystal, with water that shimmered like liquid stardust. And next to the fountain was a figure, an elderly woman, draped in a cloak made of stars. Her eyes were gentle, yet they sparkled with an ancient wisdom. "Welcome, young one," the woman said, her voice like the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. "I am Luna, keeper of the moonlit garden." Tomas bowed respectfully. "I've never seen anything like this place. Is it real, or am I dreaming?" Luna smiled. "This garden exists between the realms of dream and reality. Few find their way here, but those who do are destined for a purpose. You, Tomas, have been chosen to help restore the balance of the stars." "The balance of the stars?" Tomas asked, intrigued. Luna nodded. "For centuries, the stars have watched over the world, guiding travelers and protecting the harmony of the land. But something has gone wrong. One of the brightest stars, Solaria, has dimmed. Without her light, the balance between night and day is fading, and the world may soon fall into eternal shadow." Tomas felt a shiver run down his spine. "What can I do to help?" Luna gestured toward the fountain. "You must find 3 sacred moonstone petals from the flowers that bloom in this garden. Each petal represents a different quality: courage, kindness, and wisdom. Only by offering these petals to Solaria can her light be restored. But the journey will not be easy." With determination in his heart, Tomas agreed to the quest. Luna gave him a small silver pouch to carry the moonstone petals. "Follow your heart, Tomas, and remember, only those who believe in the power of light can complete this journey." Tomas thanked Luna and set off to gather the moonstone petals. The first petal, representing courage, was hidden in the Cave of Shadows, where the bravest had faltered. Tomas arrived at the cave, his heart pounding with fear. Inside, the darkness was thick and oppressive, and strange, eerie sounds echoed from deep within. But Tomas knew he couldn't give up. He took a deep breath, stepped into the cave, and felt his way through the darkness. With each step, his fear began to fade, replaced by the warmth of the silver path still glowing faintly beneath his feet. As he ventured deeper, he found the first moonstone petal lying on a glowing pedestal. He placed it in the silver pouch and felt a surge of courage wash over him. Next, Tomas journeyed to the enchanted river, where the second petal, representing kindness, awaited. When he arrived, he saw that the river had been blocked by a fallen tree, and the fish and creatures that lived in the water were struggling to survive. Tomas, seeing their distress, worked tirelessly to clear the river. He carefully moved the tree and watched as the water began to flow freely once more. Grateful for his kindness, the creatures of the river presented him with the second moonstone petal. The final petal, representing wisdom, was hidden in the starry maze, a labyrinth filled with twisting paths and illusions. Many had entered the maze, but few had ever found their way out. As Tomas stepped inside, he noticed that each turn seemed to lead him in circles. But he remembered Luna's advice: follow your heart. Instead of relying on his eyes, he trusted his instincts and let his heart guide him through the maze. After what felt like hours, Tomas reached the center, where the third moonstone petal rested beneath a silver tree. He added it to his pouch, feeling a deep sense of clarity and peace. With all 3 petals in hand, Tomas returned to the moonlit garden, where Luna awaited him by the fountain. The night sky above seemed darker than before, as if Solaria's light had nearly vanished. "You have done well, Tomas," Luna said, her eyes filled with pride. "Now, place the petals in the fountain, and Solaria's light will be restored." Tomas carefully placed the 3 glowing petals into the crystal fountain. As they touched the shimmering water, a brilliant light shot into the sky, weaving through the stars until it reached Solaria. The dim star flared back to life, shining brighter than ever before. The night sky sparkled with renewed energy, and the balance between light and darkness was restored. The garden bloomed in full splendor, and Luna's cloak shimmered with gratitude. You have saved the world from eternal shadow, Tomas. The stars will forever remember your courage, kindness, and wisdom. Tomas smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Thank you, Luna. I only did what I believed was right. With the balance restored, Luna gifted Tomas a small silver pendant shaped like a star. Wear this, and the light of the stars will always guide you. Tomas returned to his village, the pendant shining softly against his chest. He knew that while his adventure had ended, the stars would always watch over him, and the moonlit garden would forever remain a place of magic and wonder in his heart. And from that day forward, the villagers spoke of Tomas, the boy who restored the light of the stars and protected the world from the shadows. In a land where magic flowed like a river and stars twinkled with secrets, there was a village called Luminera. The village was known for its enchanting beauty and the magical creatures that roamed its fields. At the heart of Luminera was an ancient, majestic tree called the Celestial Oak. This tree was said to be the source of the village's magic, its branches touching the sky and its roots delving into the earth's mysteries. One clear night, a brilliant moon shone over Luminera, casting a silvery glow across the village. Little did the villagers know, this moonlight was hiding a secret. An old legend spoke of a hidden kingdom that lay beyond the visible realm, accessible only with a special key known as the Moonlit Key. Among the villagers was a young girl named Arya. She had always been fascinated by stories of magic and adventure. Her grandmother had once told her about the Moonlit Key and the hidden kingdom that was said to grant one wish to those who discovered it. Intrigued and determined, Arya decided to embark on a quest to find the Moonlit Key and uncover the hidden kingdom. One evening, as Arya wandered near the Celestial Oak, she noticed something glimmering in the moonlight. It was a small, intricately carved box hidden among the tree's roots. With trembling hands, she opened the box and found a delicate, silver key with a moon-shaped handle. The Moonlit Key. Excited and a little nervous, Arya took the key and began her journey to discover the hidden kingdom. The key seemed to hum softly in her hand, guiding her towards a misty forest on the edge of the village. In the heart of the forest, she encountered a wise, ancient owl named Orion. Orion had been waiting for someone worthy to find the Moonlit Key. Greetings, Arya, Orion hooted. You have found the Moonlit Key, but to unlock the hidden kingdom, you must prove your courage and kindness. You will face 3 trials that test your heart. Arya nodded, ready to face the trials. The first trial led her to the enchanted brook, where the waters sparkled with 1,000 colors. Here, she met a water sprite named Lyria, who was struggling to free her friends, who had been trapped by an enchanted net. Arya carefully untangled the net, freeing Lyria's friends, who were overjoyed and grateful. Kindness has opened the way to the second trial, Lyria said, pointing to a path through the forest. The second trial brought Arya to a clearing where a fierce dragon named Brontis guarded a magical stone. The dragon roared and bared his teeth, but Arya remained calm and approached him. Why do you guard this stone? Arya asked. Brontis, surprised by her bravery and compassion, explained that he guarded the stone to protect it from those who would misuse its power. Arya spoke to him about her noble quest and her wish to use the stone to help others. Brontis, touched by her sincerity, allowed her to take the stone. Bravery has opened the way to the final trial, he said. The final trial led Arya to the Misty Grove, where a mystical fog obscured everything. At the center of the grove stood a large, ancient door, but it was locked and bound with magical chains. The only way to open it was to combine the Moonlit Key, the magical stone, and a heartfelt wish. Arya took a deep breath and placed the Moonlit Key into the lock, then set the magical stone on the door's pedestal. She closed her eyes and made a wish from the bottom of her heart. I wish for a world where kindness and courage bring light and hope to everyone. The door creaked open, and a warm, golden light flooded the grove. Beyond the door lay the hidden kingdom, a realm of stunning beauty with lush landscapes, sparkling rivers, and skies that shimmered with colors Arya had never seen before. The kingdom's inhabitants, creatures of magic and wonder, welcomed her with open arms. A regal figure stepped forward, the queen of the hidden kingdom, with a crown made of moonlight and stars. She spoke softly, "You have proven yourself through bravery, kindness, and a pure heart. As a reward, you may make a wish for yourself or for others." Arya thought for a moment and then said, "I wish for the magic of this kingdom to spread to the world beyond, so that kindness and courage can bring light to everyone." The queen smiled and waved her hand, and the magic of the hidden kingdom began to flow into the world. As Arya returned to Luminera, she saw the village and the enchanted forest glowing with renewed magic, joy, and harmony. The villagers celebrated Arya's return and the newfound magic that now touched every corner of their world. The story of Arya's quest became a cherished tale in Luminera, inspiring generations to come. And so, under the moonlit sky, the legacy of the Moonlit Key and the Hidden Kingdom lived on, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most magical dreams can come true. As the moonlight bathed Luminera in its soft glow, Arya knew that magic was not just about finding hidden realms but about spreading light and hope wherever one's heart leads. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there was a village called Evermore. Evermore was a quaint place, surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests. The village was known for its beautiful gardens, where every kind of flower and plant could be found. But the most famous garden of all was the Enchanted Garden, hidden deep within the forest. This garden was said to have been created by the ancient spirits of nature, and it was filled with the rarest and most magical plants in the world. The people of Evermore often spoke of the Enchanted Garden, but none dared to venture there, for it was protected by a powerful magic that only allowed those with a pure heart to enter. Many had tried to find the garden, but all had returned empty-handed, telling tales of mysterious paths that led them in circles and whispers in the wind that guided them away. In Evermore, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind and gentle, with a love for all living things. She spent her days tending to her family's small garden, where she grew the most vibrant flowers in the village. Her mother often told her stories about the Enchanted Garden, and Elara dreamed of one day finding it. She wasn't interested in the magic or the rare plants, she simply wanted to see the beauty of the garden with her own eyes. One bright morning, as the sun rose over the hills, Elara decided that she would set out to find the Enchanted Garden. She packed a small basket with food, a flask of water, and a little book of flowers she had been given by her grandmother. With a heart full of hope, she kissed her mother goodbye and began her journey into the forest. The forest was dense and alive with the sounds of birds singing and leaves rustling in the wind. Elara walked for hours, following paths that twisted and turned, always trusting her instincts. As the sun began to set, she grew tired and decided to rest beside a clear stream. She sat down on a mossy rock and opened her book of flowers, studying the pictures and descriptions. As she read, she noticed something strange. The wind began to whisper softly around her, carrying with it the scent of flowers she had never smelled before. Elara closed her book and stood up, looking around. The wind seemed to be guiding her, gently nudging her in a certain direction. With a deep breath, she decided to follow it. The path the wind led her down was narrow and overgrown, but Elara pressed on. The trees around her seemed to part just enough to let her through, and the whispers in the wind grew louder, as if encouraging her. Finally, after what felt like hours, Elara stepped into a large clearing, and there, before her eyes, was the Enchanted Garden. Elara gasped in awe. The garden was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. Flowers of every color filled the air with their sweet fragrance, and plants with shimmering leaves danced in the gentle breeze. In the center of the garden stood a great tree, its branches stretching high into the sky, covered in blossoms that glowed with a soft, golden light. Elara walked slowly into the garden, her eyes wide with wonder. She gently touched the petals of the flowers, feeling their delicate softness. As she wandered deeper into the garden, she came upon a small pond, its waters crystal clear. In the pond, she saw her reflection, but something was different. Her reflection smiled at her, and then, to her surprise, it spoke. "Welcome, Elara," the reflection said. You have found the enchanted garden of Evermore. Your heart is pure, and you have been chosen to care for this place." Elara was startled but listened carefully. "Chosen?" she asked. "But I am just a simple girl from the village. How can I care for such a magical place?" The reflection continued, "The garden thrives on love and kindness, and you possess those qualities in abundance. The plants and flowers here need someone who can tend to them with care, someone who will protect the garden and ensure that its magic continues to flourish." Elara thought for a moment. She loved the garden already, and the idea of caring for it filled her with joy. "I would be honored to care for the garden," she said softly. As soon as she spoke, the reflection in the pond faded, and the wind swirled around her once more, carrying with it the voice of the ancient spirits. "Then it is decided. From this day forward, you are the guardian of the enchanted garden." With those words, a gentle glow surrounded Elara, and she felt a warm, comforting energy fill her. She knew that she had been given a special gift, a connection to the garden that would guide her in her new role. Elara stayed in the enchanted garden, tending to the flowers and plants with love and dedication. She learned to understand the language of the wind, the songs of the birds, and the whispers of the trees. Under her care, the garden flourished, and its beauty became even more radiant. But Elara did not keep the garden's wonders to herself. She invited the villagers of Evermore to visit, sharing the magic of the garden with all who had kind hearts. The villagers would come to the garden to seek peace, inspiration, and healing, and the garden welcomed them with open arms. As the years passed, Elara grew into a wise and beloved guardian. The enchanted garden became a symbol of hope and love for all who visited, and its magic continued to touch the lives of many. Elara knew that the garden's true power was not in its rare plants or ancient spirits, but in the love and kindness that she and others brought to it. And so, the enchanted garden of Evermore remained a place of wonder and joy, cared for by Elara and those who followed in her footsteps. The garden's story was passed down through generations, a tale of a young girl with a pure heart who found a magical garden and made it her home. And though Elara eventually grew old, the garden remained as vibrant and full of life as ever, a testament to the enduring power of love, kindness, and the magic that lives in the hearts of those who believe in it. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there was a young boy named Oliver. Oliver had always been fascinated by the stories of his grandmother, who spoke of a hidden realm that could only be accessed through an enchanted lantern. The lantern, according to the tales, held the power to reveal a magical world full of wonder and adventure. Oliver's grandmother had given him an old, dusty lantern as a keepsake before she passed away. It had always been a cherished, if mysterious, possession. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves rustled and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Oliver decided to uncover the lantern's secrets. He took the lantern to a quiet corner of the village, where the ancient oak tree stood, its gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens. With a deep breath, Oliver lit the lantern, its light flickering softly in the twilight. Suddenly, the air around him shimmered, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming nightshade and fresh rain. The lantern's light grew brighter, casting a radiant glow that revealed a hidden pathway in the ground. Oliver's heart raced with excitement as he followed the path, which seemed to wind through the very earth itself. The path led him to a hidden door adorned with intricate patterns and glowing with a soft, golden hue. Oliver pushed the door open and stepped through, finding himself in an extraordinary realm. The sky was a tapestry of swirling colors, and the landscape was dotted with floating islands and sparkling rivers. Magical creatures, such as gentle unicorns and playful fairies, roamed freely, their laughter echoing through the air. As Oliver explored this wondrous place, he came across a grand palace made of crystalline towers that sparkled like diamonds. The palace seemed to float on a serene lake, and a shimmering bridge led to its entrance. With a mix of awe and curiosity, Oliver crossed the bridge and entered the palace. Inside, he was greeted by a regal figure, Queen Seraphina, the guardian of the hidden realm. She wore a gown woven from moonlight and stars, and her presence radiated warmth and kindness. "Welcome, Oliver," the queen said with a graceful bow. "I have been expecting you." The lantern you hold is a key to this realm, and you are the chosen one to restore balance to our world." Oliver was astonished. "But how can I help? I am just an ordinary boy from a village." Queen Seraphina smiled gently. "You may be ordinary, but you possess a heart full of courage and kindness. Our realm is in turmoil because the celestial stone, which maintains the harmony of our world, has been stolen by a dark sorcerer. Without it, our magic is fading." Determined to help, Oliver asked, "Where can I find the celestial stone?" The queen explained that the stone was hidden in a perilous labyrinth guarded by the sorcerer. To retrieve it, Oliver would need to face 3 trials designed to test his bravery, wisdom, and compassion. With a heart full of resolve, Oliver set off to find the labyrinth. Queen Seraphina provided him with a magical compass that would guide him through the maze. The compass glowed with a soft light, showing the path to the entrance of the labyrinth. The first trial was the trial of shadows. Oliver entered a dark, eerie cave where shadows danced and whispered. He had to confront his deepest fears and navigate through the maze without losing hope. As he ventured deeper, he encountered his own fears, images of failure and loss. Oliver took a deep breath and reminded himself of his purpose. He focused on the light from the compass and the memory of his grandmother's encouragement. With courage and determination, he faced the shadows and found his way to the exit. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Oliver arrived at a tranquil glade where a wise old owl awaited him. The owl presented him with a riddle: "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Oliver pondered the riddle carefully. He thought about the nature of sound and the elements of the world. After a moment of reflection, he answered, "An echo." The wise owl hooted in approval, and a hidden path appeared, leading Oliver closer to the labyrinth's heart. The final trial was the trial of compassion. Oliver found himself in a beautiful meadow where magical creatures were in distress. They had lost their way and were frightened. To pass this trial, Oliver needed to help them find their path and restore their spirits. Oliver used his kindness and understanding to comfort the creatures and guide them to safety. As he did, the creatures began to glow with renewed energy, and the meadow seemed to come alive with vibrant colors. Having completed all 3 trials, Oliver reached the heart of the labyrinth, where the dark sorcerer awaited him. The sorcerer, cloaked in shadows, held the celestial stone tightly. Oliver faced him bravely and explained his quest and the importance of the stone to the realm's magic. The sorcerer, moved by Oliver's courage and sincerity, was overcome with remorse for his actions. He realized the harm he had caused and, with a heavy heart, returned the celestial stone to Oliver. Oliver thanked the sorcerer and made his way back to the grand palace. Queen Seraphina greeted him with joy and relief. The celestial stone was restored to its rightful place, and the realm's magic began to flourish once more. In gratitude for his bravery and kindness, Queen Seraphina granted Oliver a special gift, a pendant that would allow him to return to the hidden realm whenever he wished. Oliver returned to his village, his heart full of wonder and fulfillment. The lantern, now glowing brightly, served as a reminder of the extraordinary adventure he had experienced and the magic he had helped restore. From that day forward, Oliver shared his story with the villagers, inspiring them with tales of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The hidden realm remained a place of magic and wonder, forever touched by the heart of a young boy who dared to make a difference. And so, Oliver lived happily ever after, always cherishing the enchanted lantern and the lessons he had learned in the hidden realm. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden that few had ever seen. This garden, known only as the Moonlit Garden, was shrouded in mystery and said to be enchanted. Legend spoke of its beauty, which could only be witnessed by those who were kind and true of heart. The garden was bathed in moonlight every night, even when the moon was hidden by clouds, and it was said to hold a magical melody that could heal the heart and bring peace to the world. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her gentle nature and her love of music. Her grandmother had once told her stories about the moonlit garden and its magical melody, and Lyra had always dreamed of visiting it. Her dream was fueled by a deep desire to find a way to help her ailing mother, who had been bedridden for many months. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, Lyra decided it was time to embark on her quest. She packed a small bag with essentials, a journal, a pencil, a few pieces of bread, and a bottle of water. Her grandmother's tales had given her hope, and she believed that if she could find the moonlit garden, she might discover the melody that could heal her mother. Lyra followed the old map her grandmother had drawn years ago, which led her to the edge of the forest surrounding the village. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the path grew darker, but the moonlight seemed to guide her steps. After a few hours of walking, she came across a shimmering pool of water that reflected the light of the moon. Beside the pool was a large, ancient tree with silver leaves that sparkled like stars. The tree's branches seemed to part, revealing a hidden entrance beneath its roots. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped inside. The tunnel was narrow and winding, but she felt a sense of calm and purpose. At the end of the tunnel, she found herself in the moonlit garden. The garden was a breathtaking sight. Moonlight bathed the flowers in soft, glowing hues, and the air was filled with the fragrance of rare blossoms. The garden seemed to be alive, with gentle breezes that carried the scent of flowers and the faint whisper of a distant melody. In the center of the garden stood a grand fountain with crystal-clear water that sparkled like diamonds. As Lyra approached the fountain, she noticed a delicate, silver harp resting beside it. The harp was covered in intricate engravings of flowers and stars. The melody Lyra had heard was coming from the harp, though it was faint and elusive. Lyra gently touched the harp strings, and the melody grew clearer, filling the garden with its enchanting sound. The music seemed to have a soothing effect on everything around her, the flowers bloomed more brightly, and the air became filled with a warm, comforting light. Suddenly, a soft, ethereal voice spoke from the direction of the fountain. "Welcome, Lyra. You have found the moonlit garden, and you have awakened the harp's melody. To unlock the full power of the melody and use it to heal, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart, mind, and spirit." Lyra nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The voice continued, "Your first task is the trial of the heart. You must find and help a creature in need within this garden." Lyra looked around and soon noticed a small, delicate butterfly with shimmering wings tangled in a spider's web. The butterfly fluttered weakly, unable to free itself. Lyra carefully untangled the web, freeing the butterfly. It landed on her hand and looked up at her with grateful eyes before flying off into the moonlight. "You have shown great kindness," the voice said. "Now, for the trial of the mind. You must solve a riddle to reveal the true source of the melody." A stone pedestal emerged from the ground, and on it was a scroll with a riddle written in elegant script: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle, thinking deeply. She recalled her grandmother's stories and her own love of music. "A joke," she answered aloud. The pedestal revealed a hidden compartment with a small, ornate key. Lyra took the key and continued her journey through the garden. "You have shown wisdom," the voice said. "Now, for the final task, the trial of the spirit. You must find the source of the melody and prove that you are worthy of its power." Lyra followed the sound of the music through the garden, arriving at a hidden grove surrounded by ancient trees. At the center of the grove was a beautiful, crystal-clear pond. The harp's melody seemed to be coming from beneath the water. Lyra took a deep breath and plunged into the pond. As she swam to the bottom, she discovered a hidden chamber with a glowing, golden chest. She used the key she had found to unlock the chest, and inside was a radiant crystal that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the harp's melody. As she held the crystal, the melody grew stronger and more powerful. The crystal's light surrounded her, and she felt a profound sense of peace and warmth. She knew that this was the magical melody she had sought. Lyra returned to the surface, carrying the crystal with her. The garden seemed to come alive with joy, and the voice spoke once more. "You have completed the trials and proven yourself worthy. Use this melody to bring healing and hope to your world." Lyra thanked the voice and made her way back to the village. She used the crystal to create a magical melody that filled her home with a soothing, healing light. Her mother, who had been bedridden for months, awoke with renewed strength and vitality. The entire village was amazed by the transformation, and Lyra's bravery and kindness were celebrated. The moonlit garden remained a place of magic and wonder, and Lyra's story became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within the world around us. And so, Lyra lived happily ever after, knowing that the melody of the moonlit garden had brought healing and hope to those she loved. The end. Once upon a time, nestled between lush, rolling hills and a serene, sparkling lake, lay the quaint village of Leora. The village was famous for its beautiful lantern festival, held every autumn under the light of the harvest moon. Each year, the villagers would craft magnificent lanterns of all shapes and sizes, illuminating the night with a warm, magical glow. At the edge of the village, in a cozy cottage with a thatched roof, lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara had a special gift. She could create lanterns that shimmered with a light so enchanting it seemed to dance and sing. The lanterns she made were the centerpiece of the festival, and they brought joy to everyone who saw them. This year, however, a shadow had fallen over the village. A fierce storm had ravaged the lands, causing the river to flood and the crops to wither. As the festival approached, the villagers worried that their beloved tradition might be overshadowed by the misfortunes they had faced. The magic of the lantern seemed dimmer, and the harvest moon felt far away. Ilara, determined to restore the village's spirit, decided to create a lantern unlike any other. She called it the Lantern of Leora, a lantern that would embody the heart and hope of the village. She believed that if she could craft this lantern with pure intention and hope, it might rekindle the village's magic. Ilara worked tirelessly on the Lantern of Leora, using the finest materials she could find: moonlit silk, shimmering gold thread, and a rare, radiant crystal she had found in the forest. She poured her heart into every stitch, whispering her wishes for the village's prosperity with each turn of her needle. One evening, as Ilara worked on the final touches of the lantern, an old, mysterious woman appeared at her door. Her cloak was dark, and her eyes sparkled with a knowing light. "I am Morgana, the keeper of the harvest moon," the woman said. "I sense you are working on something special. May I see your creation?" Ilara hesitated but then nodded and led Morgana to her workshop. The old woman examined the Lantern of Leora with a discerning eye. After a moment, she spoke. "This lantern is crafted with great love and hope. But to truly shine with the magic you seek, it must be blessed by the spirit of the harvest moon. To do that, you must undertake a journey to the moonlit grove, where the spirit resides." Ilara was both excited and apprehensive. She asked Morgana for guidance, and the old woman gave her a small, silver key. "This key will open the way to the moonlit grove," Morgana explained. "But remember, the journey will test your courage and heart." With the key in hand, Ilara set out on her journey. She ventured through the whispering woods, where the trees seemed to murmur ancient secrets. Guided by moonlight, she followed a path that led to the moonlit grove, a magical forest bathed in a soft, silver glow. In the heart of the grove, she found a grand, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Ilara used the silver key to unlock the trunk, revealing a hidden staircase that spiraled upward. Climbing the stairs, she emerged into a breathtaking moonlit clearing. At the center of the clearing stood a magnificent, ethereal figure, the spirit of the harvest moon. The spirit was adorned in flowing robes of moonlight, and her presence radiated a serene and gentle light. "Welcome, Ilara," the spirit said, her voice like a soft breeze. "I have seen your dedication and the love you have put into the Lantern of Leora. To receive my blessing, you must demonstrate the true spirit of hope and unity." The spirit explained that Ilara needed to light the lantern and let it float into the sky, but it would only work if she could overcome 3 trials: the trial of courage, the trial of kindness, and the trial of wisdom. Trial of courage. The first trial was to face a fierce, enchanted wind that roared through the grove. Ilara had to hold the lantern steady against the howling wind. She took a deep breath, stood firm, and held the lantern high, her resolve unshaken by the gusts. Trial of kindness. Next, she encountered a group of lost, magical creatures who were frightened and hungry. Elara shared the food she had brought with her and comforted them with kind words. The creatures, grateful for her compassion, guided her to the final trial. Trial of Wisdom. The last trial was to solve a riddle presented by the spirit of the harvest moon. The riddle was, I am not alive, but I grow, I do not have lungs, but I need air, I do not have a mouth, but I need water to live. What am I? Elara thought carefully and answered, a flame. The spirit of the harvest moon smiled and nodded. You have shown great courage, kindness, and wisdom. The lantern of Leora is now ready to shine with the magic of the harvest moon. Elara returned to the village, her heart full of hope. The villagers gathered in anticipation as she carried the lantern of Leora to the center of the village. With a gentle touch, she ignited the lantern's light. The lantern's glow was magnificent, casting a warm, golden hue over the entire village. As the lantern floated into the night sky, it illuminated the darkness with a brilliant, enchanting light. The magic of the lantern seemed to reach every corner of Glimmerbrook, reviving the village's spirit and bringing new life to the land. The river flowed once again, the crops began to flourish, and the Festival of Lights was celebrated with renewed joy and splendor. The villagers danced and sang under the glowing lanterns, their hearts lifted by the radiant light of the lantern of Leora. Elara's bravery and dedication became a cherished story in Glimmerbrook, a reminder of the power of hope and the magic that lies in every heart. And as the harvest moon shone brightly over the village, it blessed them with prosperity and happiness for years to come. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled at the edge of a vast and mysterious forest, there was a small, cozy cottage where a young girl named Leora lived with her grandmother. Leora was known for her adventurous spirit and curiosity about the world beyond the village. Her grandmother often told her stories about magical places and enchanted creatures that lived deep in the forest. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky turned a deep shade of purple, Leora and her grandmother sat by the fireplace. They were finishing a warm meal when Grandma's old lantern, which had been passed down through generations, flickered and went out. That lantern has been with our family for as long as I can remember, Grandma said with a wistful smile. It's said to have magical powers, but no one has seen its light in many years. Leora's eyes sparkled with excitement. Could it be true, Grandma? Could the lantern really be magical? Her grandmother nodded. Perhaps. They say that in times of need, the lantern shines brightly and guides those who are lost. The next morning, the village awoke to find the sky overcast and a thick fog settling over the land. The villagers were worried because the fog made it nearly impossible to see or travel beyond their homes. The usually bustling village was eerily quiet, and people huddled indoors, unsure of what to do. Leora, however, was determined to help. She took the old lantern, which was now cold and dark, and decided to venture into the forest to see if she could find out why the fog had come and how to lift it. She believed that if the lantern was truly magical, it might be able to guide her. With a deep breath, Leora stepped into the forest. The fog wrapped around her like a thick, wet blanket, making the trees look like shadows. She felt a little nervous but remembered her grandmother's stories about bravery and magic. As she walked, the forest seemed to whisper secrets to her. Suddenly, she heard a faint, melodious sound, like a distant psalm carried on the wind. Leora followed the sound, hoping it would lead her to something helpful. The music grew louder until she reached a small clearing where an old, gnarled oak tree stood. Under the tree, there was a small, glowing figure, a fairy with delicate wings and a dress made of moonlight. The fairy was singing the enchanting melody Leora had heard. "Hello, little fairy," Leora said softly. "I'm Leora. My village is covered in a thick fog, and I've come to find out how to lift it. I have this lantern, which I believe might be magical. Can you help me?" The fairy stopped singing and looked at the lantern with curious eyes. "Ah, the lantern of Leora," she said with a smile. "I've heard of it. It holds the power to light the way in the darkest of times, but it needs a special touch to awaken its magic. Do you know how I can make it work?" Leora asked eagerly. The fairy nodded. The lantern's magic is awakened by the light of a pure heart and the bravery to seek out the truth. You must first find the heartstone of the forest. It's hidden deep within the woods and glows with the same light that the lantern needs. The fairy handed Leora a tiny, sparkling map. This will guide you to the heartstone. Follow the map's path, and trust in your heart. Leora thanked the fairy and set off with the map. The path on the map was winding and filled with challenges. She crossed a bubbling brook on stepping stones, climbed over moss-covered rocks, and navigated through a maze of tall, twisted trees. Finally, after what felt like hours, Leora arrived at a small, hidden glen. In the center of the glen was a beautiful, glowing stone that radiated a warm, golden light. The heartstone was embedded in the ground, surrounded by delicate flowers that sparkled in its glow. Leora carefully picked up the heartstone, and as she did, the fog around her began to lift. She held the stone close to the lantern, and a gentle light began to shine from within it. The lantern's glow grew brighter and brighter, cutting through the fog and illuminating the forest. With the lantern now glowing brightly, Leora made her way back to the village. As she emerged from the forest, the fog was completely gone, and the sun shone brightly once again. The villagers gathered around, amazed to see the lantern glowing with such a magical light. Leora's grandmother hugged her tightly, tears of joy in her eyes. "You did it, Leora! You brought the light back to our village." The villagers cheered and celebrated, grateful for Leora's bravery in the lantern's magic. From that day on, the lantern was a symbol of hope and courage. Whenever the village faced challenges or difficult times, they knew that with kindness and bravery, they could overcome anything. And so, Leora's adventure became a beloved story in the village, a tale of how one girl's pure heart and determination brought light to a dark time and restored hope to her home. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and rolling hills, there was a village known as Moonlit Hollow. The village was famous for its tranquil beauty and the mysterious Midnight Garden, a hidden realm said to bloom only under the light of the full moon. The garden was rumored to possess magical properties, but it was a closely guarded secret, known only to a few. In this village lived a young girl named Aria, who was known for her boundless curiosity and kind heart. Aria had always been enchanted by the stories of the Midnight Garden, particularly one tale her grandmother had told her about a magical flower called the Moonblossom. This flower was said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it on the night of the full moon. As the next full moon approached, Aria's excitement grew, for she hoped to find the Moonblossom and use its magic to help her village, which had recently faced a series of misfortunes. On the eve of the full moon, Aria prepared for her quest. She donned a warm cloak, packed a small satchel with essentials, some bread, a flask of water, and a lantern, and set out towards the edge of the forest where the Midnight Garden was believed to lie. As the moonlight bathed the forest in a silvery glow, Aria followed a narrow, winding path that led her deeper into the woods. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of night-blooming flowers, and the forest seemed to hum with a soft, magical energy. The path was lit by delicate fireflies that fluttered like tiny stars. After walking for some time, Aria came upon a grove where ancient trees formed a natural archway. At the center of the grove stood a gate made of intertwined vines and flowers, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Aria approached the gate with wonder, but it was locked and there was no visible keyhole. Suddenly, a soft, musical voice spoke from behind her. "To enter the Midnight Garden, you must first solve the riddle of the gate." Turning around, Aria saw a graceful, ethereal figure emerge from the shadows, a forest nymph with shimmering wings and a crown of flowers. "I am Leora, the guardian of the Midnight Garden," the nymph said with a smile. "If you wish to enter, you must answer my riddle." With her heart racing, Aria nodded. Leora began, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Aria thought for a moment. She remembered the tales and riddles her grandmother had shared with her. "A joke," she replied confidently. Leora's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly. The gate shall open for you." The vine-covered gate slowly creaked open, revealing a breathtaking sight. The Midnight Garden was a realm of wonder, with moonlight casting an enchanting glow over a sea of flowers in every imaginable color. The garden was alive with magical creatures, glowing butterflies, singing nightingales, and dancing fireflies. At the heart of the garden stood a grand, ancient tree with silver leaves and a trunk that seemed to sparkle. Suspended from one of its branches was the moon blossom, a flower with petals that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Arya approached the moon blossom, her heart full of hope and determination. As she reached out to touch the flower, a gentle breeze rustled through the garden, and a soft voice spoke again. The moon blossom's magic is powerful, but its gift must be used wisely. What is your wish, dear child? Arya took a deep breath and thought about her village, which had suffered from poor harvests and a lack of resources. I wish for my village to be blessed with bountiful harvests and prosperity, she said earnestly. The moon blossom glowed even brighter, and its petals opened, releasing a shimmering mist that spread across the garden. The mist seemed to carry Arya's wish through the air, and as it settled, the garden's beauty intensified. The flowers bloomed more vibrantly, and a sense of peace and abundance filled the air. Arya thanked the moon blossom and Leora, and with the magic of the garden guiding her, she made her way back to her village. As she arrived, she was greeted with astonished joy. Fields that had once been barren were now lush and green. And the villagers were celebrating a bountiful harvest. The prosperity brought by the moon blossom transformed Moonlit Hollow. The villagers were able to rebuild their homes, support each other, and live in harmony. Arya's bravery and kindness had brought a new era of abundance to her village. The Midnight Garden remained a hidden treasure, visited only by those who sought its magic with pure intentions. And every full moon, Arya would look towards the garden with gratitude, knowing that her wish had brought lasting happiness to her people. And so, the legend of the Midnight Garden lived on, a beacon of hope and magic in the heart of the forest, reminding all who heard its tale of the power of a kind heart and the magic of selfless wishes. Once upon a time, in a realm where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers flowed with silver, there was a hidden kingdom known as Lemuria. This kingdom was bathed in perpetual twilight, thanks to a magical lantern that hung from the highest tower of the royal castle. The lantern's light was warm and golden, casting a gentle glow that kept the kingdom in a state of perpetual dusk, neither night nor day. The people of Lemuria lived in harmony and joy, their days filled with laughter and their nights with peaceful dreams. However, one fateful evening, the lantern's light began to dim, and the once vibrant kingdom started to fade into shadow. The fields lost their color, the river's silver shimmer turned dull, and the once bright streets were cloaked in gloom. The kingdom's wise queen, Queen Seraphina, was deeply troubled. She knew that the lantern's light was the source of Lemuria's magic and prosperity. Without it, the kingdom would be lost to darkness. She called upon her trusted advisor, Sir Cedric, and shared her fears. "We must find out why the lantern is losing its light," Queen Seraphina said. "The lantern has been the heart of our kingdom for centuries. If we don't restore its glow, Lemuria will be lost forever." Sir Cedric bowed. "Your Majesty, I will find the source of this darkness and restore the lantern's light. I shall embark on a quest to save Lemuria." As Sir Cedric prepared for his journey, a young girl named Elara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the kingdom, stepped forward. Elara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. "Please, let me join you," she said. "I have a feeling that I can help in this quest." Queen Seraphina looked at Elara thoughtfully. "Very well, Elara. You may join Sir Cedric. Your courage and intuition may be what we need to succeed." With a satchel of supplies and a map from the Queen, Sir Cedric and Elara set off on their quest. Their first challenge came as they reached the edge of the kingdom, where a dense and foreboding forest known as the Shadow Wood lay before them. The trees were twisted, and a thick fog shrouded the path. As they ventured into the forest, they encountered their first obstacle, a rickety bridge suspended over a deep ravine. The bridge swayed dangerously, and the fog made it difficult to see. Sir Cedric, though brave, hesitated. Elara, however, spotted a series of stones along the edge of the ravine and suggested they use them to cross. With Elara's guidance, They carefully made their way across the stones and reached the other side. As they continued through the forest, they came upon a clearing where a magical creature, a wise old unicorn named Astra, stood waiting. Astra spoke in a soft, melodious voice. To find the source of the darkness, you must seek the Cave of Echoes. There, you will find the Heartstone, a powerful gem that holds the key to restoring the lantern's light. But be wary, for the cave is guarded by a fearsome dragon. Thanking Astra for her guidance, Sir Cedric and Elara pressed on. They followed the map until they reached the entrance of the Cave of Echoes. The cave's entrance was guarded by a massive dragon with scales as dark as night. The dragon's eyes glowed like fiery embers. Elara, though nervous, approached the dragon with a calm demeanor. We seek the Heartstone to restore the lantern's light and save our kingdom. Please, let us pass. The dragon growled but was intrigued by Elara's bravery. To enter, you must solve my riddle, the dragon said. If you answer correctly, I shall allow you to pass. The dragon's riddle was complex, but with Sir Cedric's wisdom and Elara's quick thinking, they solved it. The dragon, impressed, allowed them to enter the cave. Inside, the cave was filled with glittering crystals and echoing sounds. At the heart of the cave, they found the Heartstone, a brilliant gem that pulsed with a soft, golden light. But as they approached, a dark shadow emerged, a wicked sorcerer who had been hiding in the cave, seeking to use the Heartstone's power for his own evil purposes. The sorcerer cackled as he saw Sir Cedric and Elara. You think you can take the Heartstone from me? The darkness will consume your kingdom. Elara, though frightened, stepped forward and spoke with determination. We won't let you use the Heartstone for evil. We are here to save our kingdom and restore the light. The sorcerer attacked with dark magic, but Sir Cedric and Elara fought back bravely. Sir Cedric used his sword to deflect the sorcerer's spells, while Elara used her quick reflexes and clever strategies to outmaneuver him. In the heat of the battle, Elara noticed a faint glow coming from the Heartstone. She realized that the Heartstone's light was linked to the lantern in their kingdom. With a final burst of courage, she managed to grab the Heartstone and hold it up high. The Heartstone's light grew brighter, and its glow banished the sorcerer's darkness. The sorcerer, defeated, fled into the shadows, and the Heartstone's light filled the cave with a warm, golden glow. Sir Cedric and Elara carefully made their way back to Lumaria, carrying the Heartstone with them. As they arrived at the royal castle, the lantern's dim light began to flicker with renewed brightness. Elara placed the Heartstone in the lantern, and a brilliant light erupted, bathing the kingdom in its warm, golden glow. The fields regained their color, the river sparkled once more, and the streets were filled with joy. Queen Seraphina, Sir Cedric, and the people of Lumaria celebrated their heroes. Elara's bravery and quick thinking had saved the kingdom, and Sir Cedric's strength and wisdom had ensured their success. The kingdom was restored to its former glory, and the lantern's light once again bathed Lumaria in a gentle, eternal twilight. Elara returned to her village, where she was celebrated as a hero. Sir Cedric continued to serve the kingdom with honor, and the Whispering Willow stood tall and proud, its magic stronger than ever. And so, the tale of Elara and Sir Cedric became a cherished legend in Lumaria, a story of bravery, teamwork, and the light that shines within every heart. And thus, the story of the Enchanted Lantern and the Lost Kingdom became a beloved tale, a reminder that even in the darkest times, courage and kindness can bring back the light. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between majestic mountains and rolling meadows, there was a peaceful village named Skydale. Skydale was renowned for its stunning sunsets and starry nights, a beauty that seemed to enchant everyone who visited. The villagers often wondered who painted the skies with such vibrant colors, but the mystery remained unsolved. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his boundless curiosity and a special gift: he could talk to animals. He spent his days exploring the forests, befriending woodland creatures, and dreaming of adventures. Despite his happy life, Finn harbored a deep wish to discover the secret behind the enchanting sky paintings and, if possible, to learn how to create such beauty himself. One evening, as Finn admired the spectacular sunset from the edge of the village, he noticed a strange, glimmering light in the distance. It seemed to dance among the treetops, casting colorful reflections on the clouds. Intrigued, Finn decided to follow the light to uncover its source. He ventured into the Whispering Woods, a mysterious forest known for its ancient magic and enchanted creatures. Guided by the shimmering light, Finn journeyed deeper into the forest, his heart filled with excitement and wonder. The trees whispered secrets and the stars began to twinkle above, casting a soft glow on the path. After a long walk, Finn arrived at a hidden glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade stood a magnificent, ancient tree with golden leaves that sparkled like stars. Hanging from one of its branches was a delicate, ethereal paintbrush, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. As Finn approached the tree, a wise old owl perched on a nearby branch spoke. "Welcome, young traveler. To uncover the secret of the sky's beauty, you must first prove your heart's true intentions. Only then will you be worthy of the sky painter's gift." Finn nodded eagerly. "What must I do?" The owl continued, "You will face 3 challenges, each testing your courage, wisdom, and kindness. Succeed in all, and the paintbrush will be yours. Challenge 1, the test of courage." Finn followed the owl's directions to a dark, shadowy part of the forest where a towering, ancient stone blocked the path. The stone was covered in eerie, glowing runes that seemed to pulse with a strange energy. To pass this trial, Finn had to face his fear of the unknown. Summoning his courage, Finn approached the stone and touched the runes. He recalled tales of bravery he had heard from the animals he befriended. The runes glowed brighter and the stone slowly moved aside, revealing a path forward. Challenge 2, the test of wisdom. The next trial led Finn to a crystal-clear pond with a riddle inscribed on a stone at its edge. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn pondered the riddle, thinking about the elements of nature and his experiences with the forest. After a moment, he answered, "Fire." The pond's surface rippled and a bridge of sparkling light appeared, guiding Finn to the final challenge. Challenge 3, the test of kindness. The final trial took Finn to a serene meadow where a small, injured fawn lay under a tree. The owl's voice spoke again, "To earn the sky painter's gift, you must show compassion. Heal this creature and restore its strength." Finn gently approached the fawn, using his gift of communicating with animals to calm it. He carefully tended to its wounds using herbs and water from the nearby stream. As he worked, he sang a soothing song, infusing his care with love and kindness. The fawn's eyes brightened, and it stood up, fully healed. It nuzzled Finn gratefully before bounding off into the meadow. The owl appeared before Finn, its eyes filled with approval. "You have proven yourself worthy," the owl said. "The sky painter's gift is now yours." Finn approached the golden paintbrush, and as he touched it, he felt a surge of magical energy. The paintbrush seemed to hum with life and light. The owl explained, "With this brush, you can paint the skies with beauty and wonder. But remember, the true magic comes from the heart." Finn thanked the owl and returned to Skydale with the enchanted paintbrush. As he stood on a hill overlooking the village, he used the brush to paint the sky. With each stroke, the sky transformed into a breathtaking canvas of colors: fiery reds, soft pinks, deep blues, and twinkling stars. The villagers marveled at the new, vibrant sunsets and starry nights, their hearts filled with joy and awe. They celebrated Finn's discovery and his magical gift, which continued to bring beauty and wonder to Skydale. Finn's story became a cherished legend in the village, a reminder that true magic and beauty come from a heart full of courage, wisdom, and kindness. And every evening, as the sky was painted with dazzling colors, the village remembered the boy who brought the sky to life with his enchanted paintbrush. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The villagers of Havenwood believed that this majestic tree held magical powers, as its leaves rustled with secrets carried on the wind. Every night, the willow's whispers could be heard by those who listened closely, sharing tales of old and secrets of the future. The guardian of this willow was a kind-hearted young woman named Leora. She had grown up in Havenwood, and her parents had always told her stories about the tree's magic. As the village's appointed caretaker, Leora made it her mission to ensure that the willow thrived and its magic remained strong. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the land, a mysterious figure arrived at the edge of Havenwood. It was a traveler dressed in robes of shimmering blue, with eyes that seemed to hold the depths of countless stars. His name was Orion, a seeker of ancient magic. Orion approached Leora with a request. "I have heard of the Whispering Willow and its great power. I seek its magic to help my village, which is plagued by endless storms. If the willow can grant a wish, I hope it can save my people." Leora was hesitant. She had always known the willow's magic to be deeply connected to the harmony of Havenwood. To make a wish on its behalf, one had to prove their sincerity and worthiness. Leora agreed to guide Orion, but she warned him that the journey to unlock the willow's magic would not be easy. The first challenge was to understand the true nature of the Whispering Willow. Leora led Orion to the willow's heart, where a clear spring flowed beneath its roots. "The willow speaks through the water," she explained. "To hear its whispers, you must listen with an open heart and pure intentions." Orion knelt by the spring, his eyes closed, and listened intently. The water sang softly, telling tales of the past and the hopes of the future. After some time, Orion spoke, "I hear the whispers of many lives and dreams. My village suffers, and I wish only to bring relief to my people." Satisfied with his sincerity, Leora guided Orion to the second challenge, the trial of the moonlit path. This trial required him to traverse a winding path illuminated only by the light of the moon. The path was filled with illusions and trickery designed to lead travelers astray. Orion walked carefully, his every step measured and deliberate. Leora watched as he relied not on the light of the moon, but on his inner compass and the truth of his heart to guide him through the illusions. His determination and patience helped him find the true path, leading him safely to the other side. Finally, Leora brought Orion to the last challenge, the trial of the heart. To pass this trial, Orion had to confront his deepest fears and prove that his wish was driven by selflessness rather than personal gain. In a quiet glade, the air shimmered, and visions of his village's suffering appeared before him, endless storms destroying homes. Families struggling to survive. Orion faced these visions with bravery, understanding that his wish was not for his own glory, but for the well-being of his people. He embraced the challenge, his heart filled with empathy and resolve. After facing the trials, Leora took Orion back to the Whispering Willow. The tree's leaves rustled as if in approval, and a soft, glowing light began to emanate from its branches. The willow's magic had been awakened, and it was time for Orion to make his wish. Orion stepped forward and spoke with great humility. "Great Whispering Willow, I ask for your help to end the storms that plague my village and to bring peace to my people. I seek no reward for myself, only their safety and well-being." The willow's light grew brighter, and a gentle breeze carried the magic of the wish. The storms over Orion's village began to dissipate, replaced by clear skies and gentle rain. The villagers of Orion's homeland were amazed as their homes were restored and their crops began to flourish once more. With his wish granted, Orion returned to Havenwood to thank Leora and the Whispering Willow. He expressed his deepest gratitude and promised to honor the willow's magic by using his newfound prosperity to help others. Leora smiled and nodded. The Whispering Willow's magic is not just about granting wishes, but about inspiring goodness and selflessness. You have proven your worth, and your village is now a testament to the power of hope and kindness. As Orion departed, the Whispering Willow resumed its gentle whispers, sharing the tale of a noble seeker who had shown true courage and compassion. The villagers of Havenwood continued to cherish the willow's magic, and the story of Orion's quest became a cherished legend, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of selfless wishes and the magic found in the heart of a kind soul. And so, under the watchful branches of the Whispering Willow, Havenwood flourished in harmony, and the tale of Leora and Orion lived on as a beacon of hope and generosity. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a magical grove known as the Starlit Grove. This grove was said to be a place where wishes could come true, but only if one could find the hidden star that granted them. The grove was a mystery to many, and only a few had ever ventured inside, but all who did spoke of its beauty and enchantment. In the village lived a young girl named Lila, known for her kind heart and unyielding curiosity. Lila had always been fascinated by the tales of the Starlit Grove and dreamed of visiting it to make a wish for her ailing grandmother. Her grandmother had told her stories of the grove and the guardian who protected it, a wise and gentle spirit named Elowen. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of indigo, Lila decided it was time to embark on her adventure. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of hope, she set off towards the grove, guided by the soft twinkling of the stars. The path to the Starlit Grove was winding and overgrown, but Lila's determination kept her moving forward. As she reached the edge of the grove, she saw that the trees were covered in glowing silver leaves, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming nightshade. The grove seemed to hum with a soft, melodic tune, like a lullaby sung by the forest itself. Lila walked deeper into the grove, marveling at the beauty around her. The ground sparkled with stardust, and the trees seemed to dance in the gentle breeze. As she ventured further, she came across a crystal-clear pond with water as still as glass. At the center of the pond stood a magnificent willow tree, its branches adorned with glowing orbs that illuminated the surroundings. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside the pond. It was Elowen, the guardian of the grove, with an ethereal presence and a serene smile. Elowen's eyes sparkled like the stars above, and she wore a gown made of moonlight and mist. "Welcome, Lila," Elowen said in a voice as soft as the wind. "I have been expecting you. What brings you to the Starlit Grove?" Lila took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I've come to make a wish for my grandmother. She is very ill, and I hope that the magic of the grove can help her." Elowen nodded thoughtfully. The Starlit Grove is a place of great magic, but to make a wish, one must first prove their heart's true intent. To do so, you must complete 3 trials. Only then will the star that grants wishes reveal itself. Lila agreed to the trials, eager to help her grandmother. The first trial was the trial of reflection. Elowen led Lila to a mirror-like pool that reflected the night sky. The challenge was to confront her deepest fears and insecurities, as the pool would show not just her reflection, but her innermost feelings. As Lila gazed into the pool, she saw images of her own doubts and worries. She saw herself failing, being unable to help her grandmother, and feeling powerless. The reflections were unsettling, but Lila took a deep breath and reminded herself of her love for her grandmother and her determination to help her. By confronting her fears and focusing on her true intentions, Lila's reflection became clearer, and the pool shimmered with a warm, reassuring light. She had passed the first trial. The second trial was the trial of the heart song. Elowen led Lila to a grove where the trees sang in harmony with the wind. The challenge was to create a melody from the songs of the trees, a melody that would resonate with the purity of her heart. Lila listened carefully to the trees and began to hum a gentle tune. As she did, she felt her heart open and her spirit lift. The melody she created was filled with hope and love, and it seemed to blend perfectly with the songs of the trees. The grove responded with a chorus of harmonious notes, and the trial was complete. The final trial was the trial of the moon's embrace. Elowen led Lila to a clearing where a large stone stood, bathed in the light of the full moon. The challenge was to uncover a hidden inscription on the stone by solving a riddle that required both wisdom and insight. Elowen recited the riddle: "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila pondered the riddle and remembered the lessons she had learned about nature and the world around her. After a moment of reflection, she answered, "Fire." The inscription on the stone glowed with a soft, silver light, and a hidden compartment opened, revealing a beautiful, glowing star. Elowen smiled and handed the star to Lila. "You have completed the trials with a pure heart and true intent," Elowen said. This star holds the power to grant a wish. Use it wisely." Lila thanked Aloan and made her way back to the village, the star safely in her hands. As she arrived home, she held the star up to the night sky and whispered her wish for her grandmother's health. The star glowed brightly, casting a soft, healing light over the village. The light seemed to spread warmth and comfort, and soon after, Lila's grandmother began to recover. Her health improved day by day, and the village celebrated the return of their beloved elder. Lila's bravery and determination became a cherished story among the villagers. The Starlit Grove remained a place of wonder and magic, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the importance of wishing for the well-being of loved ones. Aloan continued to guard the grove, knowing that the true magic of the Starlit Grove was in the love and hope of those who sought its blessings. And Lila, having experienced the magic of the grove firsthand, lived happily ever after, always cherishing the lessons she had learned and the star that had granted her deepest wish. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming coastal village known for its colorful boats and bustling markets, lived a young sailor named Finn. Finn was an adventurous soul with a heart full of dreams. He longed to explore the world beyond the horizon, but despite his many journeys, he had yet to find the legendary Hidden Isle, a place said to be filled with wonders and treasures. One day, while cleaning the attic of his family's cottage, Finn stumbled upon an old, dust-covered chest. Inside was an ornate compass, its face adorned with intricate carvings of stars and seashells. It was unlike any compass he had ever seen. Beside it lay a note, written in elegant script. "Follow the compass through moonlit seas, to the hidden isle where dreams take flight. 3 tasks await, so sail with ease, and find the path that shines at night." Excited by the discovery, Finn decided to set sail under the light of the next full moon. As night fell, he prepared his ship, the Sea Whisperer, and set out, holding the enchanted compass tightly. The first task, the whispering waves. The compass guided Finn through the moonlit waters, and soon he reached a mysterious part of the ocean where the waves whispered secrets. The compass began to spin wildly, and Finn heard a gentle voice on the wind. "To find your way through these whispering waves, listen to the song of the sea. The melody will guide the path, and lead you to where you need to be." Following the instructions, Finn closed his eyes and listened carefully. He heard a soft, melodic tune carried by the waves. The music was faint but clear, guiding him to steer his ship towards a hidden passage. As Finn followed the melody, the waves parted to reveal a glowing, underwater path leading him to the next challenge. The second task, the Lighthouse of Stars. The path led Finn to a vast, sparkling lagoon where a lighthouse stood tall on a small island. The lighthouse was adorned with glowing star-shaped crystals, casting shimmering reflections across the water. At the base of the lighthouse, a kindly old sea turtle awaited him. The turtle explained, "To reach the hidden isle, you must light the beacon of stars. Use this lantern and gather stardust from the crystals around the lighthouse." Finn carefully collected the stardust and placed it into the lantern. As he lit the beacon of stars, the lighthouse began to shine brightly, and the star-shaped crystals glowed even more brilliantly. The light revealed a hidden passage through the lagoon that would lead Finn closer to his goal. The third task, the Enchanted Island. Following the light of the beacon, Finn arrived at the Enchanted Island, a lush paradise surrounded by sparkling waters and vibrant flowers. In the heart of the island stood a grand, ancient tree with a door at its base. As Finn approached the tree, the door creaked open to reveal a beautiful garden filled with glowing fruit and fluttering fairies. The fairies welcomed Finn and led him to a magical fountain in the center of the garden. The fountain was surrounded by 3 golden orbs, each representing a different quality: courage, wisdom, and kindness. To unlock the final secret, Finn needed to place a token of each quality into the fountain. Finn took a moment to reflect on his journey. He thought of his bravery in navigating the whispering waves, his wisdom in lighting the beacon of stars, and his kindness in helping others along the way. He gathered small tokens: an old sailor's medal for courage, a glowing star from the lighthouse for wisdom, and a delicate flower from the enchanted garden for kindness. As Finn placed the tokens into the fountain, it began to sparkle and bubble with radiant light. The center of the garden shifted, revealing a hidden pathway leading to a magnificent treasure chest. Inside the chest, Finn found not gold or jewels, but a beautiful, ancient map of the world. The map was enchanted, with shimmering paths that led to places of wonder and adventure. At the center of the map was the hidden isle, marked with a radiant star. The fairies congratulated Finn and gifted him a small, magical crystal. "This crystal will allow you to return to the hidden isle whenever you wish," they said. With a heart full of joy and a new sense of purpose, Finn set sail back to his village. He knew that the map would lead him to countless new adventures and that the hidden isle was just the beginning. Upon his return, Finn shared his incredible journey with the villagers, inspiring them with tales of the Whispering Waves, the Beacon of Stars, and the Enchanted Island. The village celebrated his bravery and the magic of the hidden isle, and Finn's tales of adventure became a cherished part of village lore. From that day on, Finn continued to explore the world with the enchanted map and crystal, discovering new wonders and sharing the magic he had found. The legend of Finn and the hidden isle lived on, a reminder of the rewards that await those who embark on adventures with courage, wisdom, and kindness. And so, Finn's story became a beloved tale, inspiring others to follow their dreams and seek out the hidden wonders of the world. In a quiet corner of the world, where meadows met forests and rivers sparkled under the sun, there was a small, charming village named Solara. The villagers of Solara lived in harmony with nature, but they cherished most the clear, starry nights when the sky came alive with twinkling stars. Among these villagers was a young boy named Leo, who had a special bond with the stars. Ever since he could remember, he would lie on the grass at night, gazing up at the sky, feeling as though he could reach out and touch the stars. His favorite star was a particularly bright one that always seemed to shine with an almost magical brilliance. One evening, as the full moon cast its silver light over the village, Leo noticed something unusual. The bright star he so loved was dimming, its light flickering weakly. Concerned, he ran to the village elder, a wise woman named Mira, and told her about the star. Mira listened carefully and said, "That star is known as Lumina, the Star of Wishes. It is said that Lumina and the moon share a special bond. And if Lumina's light fades, it could mean that the moon's magic is in trouble. You must seek the moon and find out what has happened." With a heart full of determination, Leo set out on a quest to find the moon and restore Lumina's light. He followed the silver moonlight through the forest, guided by the soft glow of the moon and the faint twinkle of Lumina in the sky. After a long journey, Leo arrived at a mystical clearing where the moon's light was strongest. In the center of the clearing was a shimmering, crescent-shaped pool of moonlight. As Leo approached, he saw that the moon was not in the sky but rather reflected in the pool, looking sad and dim. Leo stepped closer and spoke gently, "Oh, moon, why are you so sad? Your light has faded, and it's affecting Lumina, my favorite star." The moon, with a voice as gentle as a whispering breeze, replied, "My light has grown weak because the celestial gem, which powers my magic, has been stolen. Without it, I cannot shine as brightly, and my bond with Lumina is weakened." Leo listened with compassion and asked, "Where can I find this celestial gem?" The moon's reflection pointed to the dark depths of the forest. The gem was taken by a mischievous sprite named Zephyr, who lives in the heart of the forest. You must find Zephyr and return the gem to restore my light and Lumina's. With a renewed sense of purpose, Leo ventured deeper into the forest. The trees were tall and their branches intertwined, creating a canopy of shadows and whispers. He navigated through the dense foliage until he came upon a small, hidden grove filled with sparkling lights and fluttering fireflies. In the center of the grove was Zephyr, a playful sprite with a twinkle in his eye and a mischievous grin. Zephyr was holding the celestial gem, which glowed brightly but was dimming as the sprite played with it. Leo approached Zephyr and spoke kindly, "Zephyr, I've come to ask for the celestial gem. The moon's light is fading, and it's affecting Lumina, the Star of Wishes." Zephyr looked at Leo with a hint of guilt in his eyes. "I took the gem because I wanted to create a grand display of light for the forest. I didn't realize it would cause such trouble." Leo smiled warmly. I understand your desire to bring light to the forest, but the moon and the stars need the celestial gem to shine their brightest. If you return it, we can all work together to make the night even more magical." Zephyr, moved by Leo's words, nodded and handed over the celestial gem. "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused. I'll help you return the gem to the moon." With Zephyr's help, Leo returned to the moonlit clearing. The moon's light brightened as soon as the celestial gem was placed back in its rightful place. The sky above sparkled with renewed brilliance, and Lumina's light became steady and bright once more. The moon spoke with gratitude, "Thank you, brave Leo, and kind Zephyr. Your selflessness has restored the balance of the night. As a token of our thanks, we grant you a wish." Leo thought for a moment and said, "I wish for the magic of the stars and the moon to always shine brightly, so that everyone can feel the wonder and joy that I do." The moon and the stars glowed even brighter, filling the sky with a dazzling display of light. Zephyr promised to use his magic to spread joy and wonder throughout the forest. Leo returned to Solara, where the villagers marveled at the brilliant night sky. They celebrated the restoration of Lumina's light and the moon's radiant glow. Leo's bravery and kindness had brought a new magic to their lives. From that night on, every time Leo looked up at the stars, he felt a special connection to the moon and Lumina, knowing that the magic of the night was always there, shining brightly for all to see. In a quaint village called Meadowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her boundless curiosity and her kind heart. She loved to explore the woods and fields surrounding her village, always hoping to uncover some new secret or hidden wonder. One crisp autumn evening, as Lila walked home from the forest, she noticed a peculiar glow coming from a nearby hill. Intrigued, she climbed the hill and discovered a small, ancient stone covered in intricate carvings. The stone seemed to shimmer with a faint, magical light. At its center was a deep blue gem, a starstone, as the village legends called it. According to the stories passed down through generations, the starstone was a magical gem that had the power to grant one wish to a person with a pure heart. However, it had been lost for many years, and its magic was believed to be a mere fairy tale. Excited by her discovery, Lila gently touched the starstone, and a soft voice whispered in her ear, "To awaken the magic, you must follow the path of courage, wisdom, and compassion." The quest begins. Determined to unlock the starstone's magic, Lila set out on a quest. She took the gem to her grandmother, who was known for her knowledge of ancient legends. Her grandmother confirmed the tale and explained that the starstone's magic could only be activated by completing 3 challenges: one of courage, one of wisdom, and one of compassion. Lila packed a small bag with essentials and set off into the forest, following the map of clues her grandmother had provided. The first challenge led her to the Caves of Echoes, a dark and winding labyrinth said to test one's courage. The challenge of courage. Inside the caves, Lila encountered eerie shadows and strange sounds that seemed to play tricks on her mind. The cave was filled with twisting passages and unexpected obstacles. As she ventured deeper, she found herself face to face with a giant spider, its eyes glowing menacingly. Despite her fear, Lila remembered the stories of bravery she had heard. Taking a deep breath, she stood her ground and spoke kindly to the spider, explaining that she meant no harm. To her surprise, the spider revealed itself to be a guardian of the cave and was testing her bravery. Pleased with her courage, the spider allowed her to pass and provided her with a shimmering crystal to help guide her on the rest of her journey. The challenge of wisdom. The next challenge took Lila to the Wise Owl's Grove, where an ancient owl named Olwen awaited her. Olwen was known for his riddles and wisdom. To pass this challenge, Lila had to solve a riddle that would reveal the way to the final challenge. Olwen asked, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought carefully and answered, "Fire." Olwen nodded approvingly and gave Lila a magical parchment that would show her the path to the final challenge. The parchment glowed with a soft light and guided her to the heart of the forest, where the final test awaited. The challenge of compassion. In the heart of the forest, Lila found a small, injured fawn. The fawn was trembling and in pain, unable to move. This challenge was to compassion. Lila gently tended to the fawn, using her first aid knowledge and the herbs she had gathered along the way. She spoke soothing words and made a cozy nest for the fawn to rest. As she cared for the fawn, a gentle breeze blew through the trees, and a soft light surrounded them. The fawn's injuries began to heal, and it stood up, its eyes filled with gratitude. The spirit of the forest, moved by Lila's compassion, revealed itself and granted her the final piece of the puzzle. The wish fulfilled with all 3 challenges complete, Lila returned to the Starstone. As she placed the crystal, the parchment, and the light from her journey near the stone, it began to glow brightly. The magical energy of the Starstone enveloped her, and she felt a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. Lila made her wish, "I wish for my village to thrive and be filled with happiness and prosperity." The Starstone's light spread throughout the land, and the village of Meadowbrook began to flourish. The fields became abundant with crops, the river flowed with crystal clear water, and the village was filled with joy and laughter. The villagers marveled at the transformation and celebrated Lila's bravery, wisdom, and compassion. A lasting legacy. Lila's tale became a cherished story in Meadowbrook, inspiring generations to come. The Starstone was returned to its resting place, waiting for the next pure-hearted seeker. Lila continued to explore and help others, her actions always guided by the lessons she had learned on her quest. As the years passed, Meadowbrook thrived under the blessings of the Starstone. The village remained a place of happiness and harmony, and Lila's legacy lived on as a symbol of courage, wisdom, and compassion. And so, in the magical village of Meadowbrook, the Starstone's light continued to shine brightly, a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic of a wish fulfilled. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a towering mountain range, there lived a courageous and curious young girl named Elara. Elara loved exploring the surrounding forests and hills, always dreaming of discovering something magical. One day, while wandering through a dense, ancient forest, Elara stumbled upon a hidden path she had never seen before. The path was lined with glowing blue flowers that seemed to light up as she walked. Intrigued, Elara followed the path until it led her to the entrance of a mysterious cavern. The cavern's entrance was adorned with sparkling crystals that reflected the sunlight in dazzling patterns. Elara hesitated for a moment, but then, driven by her sense of adventure, she stepped inside the cavern. The interior was even more magnificent than she had imagined. The walls were lined with luminous crystals of every color, casting a mesmerizing glow throughout the cavern. In the center of the cavern was a large, ancient pedestal with a golden key resting on top. As Elara approached the pedestal, a soft, ethereal voice echoed through the cavern. "Welcome, brave traveler. I am Zephyra, the spirit of the Whispering Wind. You have found the heart of the cavern, a magical key that can unlock the gateway to a hidden realm. But first, you must prove your worth by completing 3 trials." Elara felt a surge of excitement and curiosity. "What are the trials?" she asked. Zephyr's voice continued, "The first trial is the trial of wisdom. You must solve the riddle of the ancient guardian to obtain the crystal of clarity. The second trial is the trial of courage. You must face your fears in the shadow realm to retrieve the shimmering stone. The final trial is the trial of kindness. You must help the creatures of the enchanted forest to earn the heart of the forest. Only then will you be able to unlock the gateway to the hidden realm." With determination in her heart, Elara set off on her quest. The first trial took her to a serene glade where she encountered an ancient stone statue of a wise old sage. The statue spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "To obtain the crystal of clarity, you must answer my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara thought carefully, recalling all the stories and puzzles she had heard. "The answer is an echo," she said confidently. The statue's eyes glowed with approval, and a hidden compartment in its base opened, revealing the crystal of clarity. Elara took the crystal and continued her journey, feeling a sense of accomplishment. The second trial led her to a dark, eerie cave known as the Shadow Realm. As she entered, the shadows seemed to come alive, swirling around her in eerie shapes. Ilara's heart pounded, but she knew she had to face her fears. She took a deep breath and walked forward, guided by the light of the crystal of clarity. In the heart of the Shadow Realm, Ilara found a shimmering stone surrounded by swirling darkness. She reached out to retrieve it, and as her fingers touched the stone, the shadows retreated, revealing the shimmering stone in all its glory. Ilara took the stone and left the Shadow Realm, feeling braver than ever. The final trial brought Ilara to the Enchanted Forest, a place filled with magical creatures and vibrant flora. She encountered a group of distressed forest animals who had lost their way. Ilara used her kindness and resourcefulness to help them find their homes and restore harmony to the forest. As a token of their gratitude, the creatures presented Ilara with the heart of the forest, a beautiful, glowing gem that pulsed with the rhythm of nature. With the 3 sacred items in hand, Ilara returned to the Crystal Cavern. Zephyr's voice greeted her once more. "You have completed the trials with wisdom, courage, and kindness. Place the Crystal of Clarity, the shimmering stone, and the heart of the forest on the pedestal to unlock the gateway to the hidden realm." Ilara carefully placed the items on the pedestal. The cavern's walls began to shimmer and shift, and a hidden door revealed itself. As the door opened, Ilara stepped into a breathtaking world of enchantment, a realm filled with floating islands, sparkling rivers, and magical creatures. In this hidden realm, Ilara discovered a majestic palace made of crystal and gold. Inside the palace, she met the queen of the realm, a regal and kind-hearted figure who welcomed her with open arms. The queen explained that the realm had been hidden away for centuries, waiting for someone with a pure heart and great bravery to restore its magic. Ilara was honored and celebrated as a hero. She spent time exploring the wonders of the realm, learning about its magic, and forging friendships with its inhabitants. The queen granted her the title of Guardian of the Hidden Realm, a role that allowed her to visit and protect the realm whenever she wished. Ilara returned to her village with a heart full of joy and stories of her incredible adventure. The village was inspired by her bravery and kindness, and the tale of the Crystal Cavern and the Whispering Wind became a cherished legend. Ilara continued to explore the world, knowing that she had discovered a hidden realm of magic and wonder. The heart of the cavern remained a symbol of her courage and the incredible journey she had undertaken. And so, Ilara lived a life full of adventure and enchantment, always guided by the wisdom, courage, and kindness she had shown on her quest. The hidden realm thrived, forever connected to the heart of a true adventurer. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. The magic of Willow's Grove. Once upon a time, in a land of rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a small village nestled beside an ancient forest. In this village lived a curious boy named Oliver. Oliver loved exploring and had a special fascination with the old stories and legends of his village, especially the tale of Willow's Grove. According to the legend, Willow's Grove was a hidden part of the forest where the trees were enchanted and had the power to grant wishes. However, the entrance to this magical grove was hidden and could only be found by someone who truly believed in magic and had a pure heart. One bright autumn morning, Oliver decided to search for Willow's Grove. He packed a small satchel with food, a map, and his trusty compass, then set off into the forest. The trees were ablaze with colors of red and gold, and the air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves. As Oliver ventured deeper into the forest, he came across an old, gnarled oak tree with a large hollow at its base. Curious, he peered inside and found a small, intricately carved wooden box. Inside the box was a note that read, "To find Willow's Grove, follow the whispers of the trees and listen to the songs of the birds." Determined, Oliver continued his journey, keeping his ears open for any whispers and songs. The forest was alive with the chatter of birds and the rustling of leaves, but he focused on the sounds that seemed to guide him forward. After walking for hours, Oliver came to a clearing where a circle of ancient, majestic trees stood. They were unlike any trees he had seen before, with silver leaves that shimmered in the sunlight. As he approached, he noticed a gentle, melodious hum emanating from the trees. It was as if they were singing a soft, harmonious tune. Oliver took a deep breath and closed his eyes, allowing the music of the trees to fill his senses. As he listened, the hum seemed to form words, "Welcome, seeker of magic. The path to Willow's Grove lies before you. With renewed hope, Oliver followed the melody, which seemed to grow stronger as he walked. The ground beneath him began to glow with a faint, golden light, and he soon found himself at the edge of a hidden glade. In the center of the glade stood an enormous willow tree with branches that cascaded to the ground like a shimmering curtain. The willow tree's bark was adorned with delicate, glowing runes, and its leaves sparkled like stars. Oliver approached the tree with reverence, feeling a sense of awe and wonder. As he reached out to touch the bark, the runes began to glow brighter, and a soft, melodious voice spoke. "Welcome, Oliver. You have found Willow's Grove, a place where wishes are woven into the fabric of dreams. What is it that you seek?" Oliver hesitated for a moment, then spoke from his heart. "I wish to bring joy and prosperity to my village. We have been facing hardships, and I want to help them find happiness and abundance." The willow tree's branches swayed gently, and the air filled with a warm, golden light. "Your wish comes from a pure heart," the voice said. "To fulfill it, you must make a gift of your own. Place a small token of your village's love at the base of the tree, and the magic of Willow's Grove will begin to work." Oliver thought for a moment and then took out a small, handcrafted wooden charm from his satchel. It was a simple heart-shaped pendant, intricately carved and painted with vibrant colors. He had made it himself, and it symbolized the love and unity of his village. With a sense of gratitude, Oliver placed the charm at the base of the willow tree. As soon as he did, the ground began to shimmer, and a gentle breeze carried the charm away, as if it were being lifted by an invisible hand. The golden light from the tree enveloped the entire glade, and Oliver felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. "Your gift has been accepted," the voice said. "Return to your village, and you will find that the magic of Willow's Grove has already begun to work." Oliver made his way back to the village, his heart light and hopeful. As he approached, he was amazed to see the once barren fields now lush and green. The villagers were busy harvesting a bountiful crop, and the air was filled with laughter and joy. It was as if the land itself had been transformed, bringing prosperity and happiness to everyone. The villagers greeted Oliver with cheers and gratitude, and he shared the story of his journey and the magic of Willow's Grove. They celebrated with a grand feast, and Oliver's wish for joy and abundance had come true. From that day on, the village thrived, and the legend of Willow's Grove lived on as a symbol of hope and magic. The villagers continued to honor the grove and the enchanting willow tree that had helped them in their time of need. And so, Oliver's adventure became a cherished tale, reminding everyone that true magic lies not only in enchanted places but also in the love, unity, and selflessness of the heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a coastal village surrounded by lush green hills and gentle waves, lived a curious girl named Elowen. Elowen was known for her love of the sea and her keen interest in the mysteries of the ocean. She spent her days exploring tide pools, collecting shells, and listening to the whispers of the waves. One bright summer morning, while walking along a hidden beach she had discovered, Elowen found a beautiful, iridescent shell half buried in the sand. It was unlike any shell she had ever seen. Its surface shimmered with colors that shifted and changed in the sunlight. Intrigued, Elowen picked up the shell and noticed a delicate inscription on its inner rim. To unlock the magic, follow the moon's gentle glow. Excited by the mysterious message, Elowen decided to wait until nightfall to see if she could uncover the shell's secret. As dusk settled and the first stars began to twinkle, Elowen returned to the beach. The shell seemed to glow softly in the moonlight, and Elowen felt a sense of anticipation. She held the shell up to the moon, and as she did, a soft, melodic sound filled the air. Suddenly, a hidden cove appeared, illuminated by the moon's gentle light. The cove was lined with sparkling crystals that reflected the moon's glow, casting a magical light across the water. Elowen stepped into the cove and found herself in a place of wonder. The water in the cove was crystal clear, and strange, luminescent creatures danced in the shallows. In the center of the cove stood a grand, ancient door made of coral and adorned with seashells. As Elowen approached the door, a voice echoed from the depths of the cove. It was the voice of the Sea Guardian, a wise and gentle spirit who protected the cove's magic. To enter the Crystal Cove and unlock its secrets, you must prove your heart's true intentions through 3 trials. Each trial will test your kindness, courage, and wisdom. Trial 1, The Lost Starfish. The first trial led Eloan to a sandy part of the cove where a starfish had become trapped among some rocks. The starfish looked weak and needed help to return to the water. Eloan gently freed the starfish from the rocks and placed it back into the sea. As the starfish swam away, it left a trail of sparkling light that illuminated the cove. The Sea Guardian's voice echoed again, praising Eloan's compassion. Trial 2, The Singing Seashells. The second trial brought Eloan to a bed of colorful seashells that were silent and still. The shells were known for their melodious songs, which had been lost. To restore their music, Eloan needed to find the right melody. Eloan remembered the melody she had heard earlier when she held the enchanted shell. She began to hum the tune, and as her voice filled the air, the seashells began to sing in harmony, their melodies creating a beautiful, soothing symphony. The light in the cove grew brighter, and the water sparkled with renewed magic. Trial 3, The Moonlit Puzzle. The final trial led Eloan to a circular stone mosaic on the floor of the cove. The mosaic was a complex puzzle of interlocking shapes and symbols, with a central piece missing. Eloan studied the mosaic carefully and noticed that the missing piece was the iridescent shell she had found earlier. She placed the shell into the center of the mosaic, and as it fit perfectly, the entire mosaic glowed with a radiant light. The door of coral and seashells slowly opened, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside the chamber was a magnificent treasure, a collection of rare and beautiful artifacts from the ocean, including a large, glowing pearl. The Sea Guardian appeared before Eloan, expressing deep gratitude. "You have completed the trials with great kindness, courage, and wisdom," the Sea Guardian said. "As a reward, you may choose one treasure from the chamber to take with you, and you will have the ability to return to the Crystal Cove whenever you wish." Eloan chose the glowing pearl, which held a soft, soothing light. She thanked the Sea Guardian and promised to use the pearl's magic to help others. With a final look at the wondrous cove, Eloan returned to her village, her heart full of joy and wonder. Back in the village, Eloan shared the story of the Crystal Cove and the magic she had discovered. The villagers were amazed and inspired by her adventure. The glowing pearl became a symbol of hope and guidance, reminding everyone of the beauty and magic that lay hidden in the world. From that day on, Eloan continued to explore and cherish the wonders of the sea. She knew that the Crystal Cove and its magic were always just a heartbeat away, waiting to be discovered by those who sought its beauty with a pure heart. And so, the legend of Eloan and the Crystal Cove became a beloved tale in the village, a reminder of the magic that can be found when one follows the moon's gentle glow and listens to the whispers of the waves. In the heart of the kingdom of Eldoria, where majestic mountains kissed the sky and lush meadows danced with wildflowers, there existed a wondrous lake known as Lake Luminera. The lake was famed for its sparkling waters that reflected the colors of the sunset and for a mystical gem said to be hidden beneath its depths, the Whispering Sapphire. This gem was believed to hold the power to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The tale begins with a spirited young girl named Ilara who lived in the small village of Willowbrook at the edge of the enchanted forest. Ilara had always been curious about the legends of the Whispering Sapphire. Despite the village's warnings about the lake's mysteries and the dangers that lurked within, her heart was set on discovering the truth. One crisp autumn morning, Ilara awoke with a determined gleam in her eye. Her village was in turmoil, a terrible drought had afflicted the land, and the crops were failing. The villagers whispered about the Whispering Sapphire, believing it could end their suffering if only it could be found. Ilara decided that she would embark on a quest to retrieve the sapphire and save her village. Equipped with a small satchel of supplies, a map given to her by her grandmother, and her trusty compass, Ilara set out for Lake Luminera. As she journeyed through the enchanted forest, the trees seemed to whisper words of encouragement, and the animals watched her with curious eyes. After several days of travel, Ilara finally arrived at the edge of Lake Luminera. The lake was as beautiful as the legends described, its waters shimmering like 1,000 stars. But Elara knew that finding the Whispering Sapphire would not be easy. According to the map, the sapphire was guarded by 3 ancient trials. The first trial was the trial of the Echoing Forest. Elara had to navigate through a dense thicket where the trees echoed with confusing sounds. She followed the clues provided by the echoes, each one guiding her closer to the heart of the forest. She carefully listened and noted that the echoes followed a pattern that led her to a hidden path. At the end of the path, Elara reached a clearing with a great stone archway. Inscribed on the archway were ancient symbols. Elara realized that the symbols were a puzzle she needed to solve. She remembered her grandmother's teachings about ancient languages and used her knowledge to decode the symbols. The archway opened, revealing a shimmering bridge that led across the lake. The second trial was the trial of the Shimmering Bridge. The bridge was delicate and made of floating light beams that shifted and changed. Elara had to cross it without falling into the water below. She took a deep breath and carefully timed her steps, using her agility to move across the beams. She was halfway through when a sudden gust of wind blew, causing the beams to sway. Elara remained calm, focusing on the path and using her balance to reach the other side. On the other side, Elara found a small wooden cabin with a kindly old woman sitting on the porch. The woman introduced herself as Luna, the keeper of the lake. She explained that Elara had passed the first 2 trials but faced one final challenge, the trial of the heart. The trial of the heart was the most difficult. Luna revealed that the Whispering Sapphire could only be found by someone who was truly selfless and pure of heart. To prove her worth, Elara had to face her greatest fear and demonstrate her true intentions. Elara took a deep breath and entered the cabin, where a mystical mirror awaited. The mirror showed her a vision of her village suffering and her own reflection holding the sapphire. She realized that the vision was not about her own desires but about her commitment to her village. Elara had to confront her fear of failure and the possibility that her quest might not succeed. She looked into the mirror and spoke from her heart, expressing her sincere wish to help her village and ensure their well-being. The mirror's surface rippled, and the Whispering Sapphire appeared, glowing softly with a gentle light. Luna smiled and congratulated Elara. She handed her the sapphire and advised her to make her wish with a heart full of hope and compassion. Elara thanked Luna and made her way back to Willowbrook, clutching the sapphire close. Upon returning to her village, Elara held the sapphire up to the sky and wished for rain to end the drought and restore the land's fertility. The sapphire glowed brightly, and soon dark clouds gathered over the village. Rain began to fall, and the land was rejuvenated. The crops grew lush and green, and the villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. Elara's bravery and selflessness became the stuff of legend in Willowbrook. The Whispering Sapphire was returned to the lake, and the villagers learned that true magic lay not just in the gem but in the heart of a hero who sought to help others. From that day forward, Elara was known as the Guardian of Willowbrook, and her story inspired generations to come. The enchanted forest and Lake Luminera remained a place of magic. And the villagers lived in harmony, always remembering the brave young girl who saved them with her courage and compassion. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between lush hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a young princess named Mira. She was known throughout the land for her kindness, bravery, and a special gift, an extraordinary talent for music. Mira could play any instrument she touched, filling the kingdom with melodies that brought joy and peace. One day, while exploring the castle's attic, Mira discovered an old, dust-covered music box. It was intricately designed with celestial patterns and a golden key attached. Curious, Mira carefully opened the box, and as it played a soft, haunting melody, a shimmering note floated out and transformed into a tiny, sparkling fairy. The fairy introduced herself as Leora, the guardian of the music box. "Princess Mira," she said, "this music box holds the key to a hidden realm, a magical place that is said to grant one wish to those with pure hearts. But first, you must complete 3 challenges to unlock its full power. The first challenge, the Garden of Echoes." Leora's wings sparkled as she pointed towards a garden beyond the castle grounds. "The first challenge is to navigate the Garden of Echoes," she explained. the garden is filled with musical echoes. You must find the source of the echo that matches the melody of the music box. Mira entered the garden, a place where every step caused different musical notes to ring through the air. The echoes were enchanting but confusing, as they constantly shifted and changed. With patience and focus, Mira played the melody from the music box on her flute, listening carefully for the echo that matched the tune. After some time, she heard a harmonious echo that perfectly mirrored her melody. Following this echo led her to a hidden glade where a golden key was waiting for her. The second challenge, the Mirror Lake. With the golden key in hand, Mira followed Leora to a serene lake known as the Mirror Lake. The water was so clear it reflected the sky like a perfect mirror. At the center of the lake was a small island with a single ancient tree. To complete the second challenge, Leora said, "You must find the Tree of Reflections. Its fruit holds a secret that will guide you to the next challenge. But beware, the lake's surface can show illusions." Mira carefully crossed the lake using a small, enchanted boat provided by Leora. As she approached the island, she noticed the reflections in the water began to change, showing illusions of various paths and obstacles. Focusing on the tree, Mira climbed to its branches and found a glimmering fruit hanging from them. She plucked it gently, and the fruit revealed a hidden map showing the way to the final challenge. The third challenge, the Cavern of Whispers. The map led Mira to a mysterious cavern hidden within the mountains. As she entered the cavern, she was greeted by soft, whispering voices that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The voices were calming but distracting, making it difficult to focus. The final challenge, Leora explained, is to find the Heartstone hidden within this cavern. The Heartstone can only be found by listening to your heart, not the whispers. Mira closed her eyes and took a deep breath, letting her own heartbeat guide her. She followed her intuition, walking through the cavern as the whispers gradually faded away. After a journey through winding tunnels and sparkling crystal formations, Mira finally discovered the Heartstone resting on a pedestal. It glowed warmly in her hands, radiating a soothing light. The revelation and the wish. With the Heartstone, Mira returned to Leora, who was waiting by the music box. "You have completed the challenges with grace and determination," Leora said. "Now, the music box will grant you one wish." Mira thought deeply about her wish. She had seen the joy her music brought to others and knew that the true magic lay not in personal gain but in the happiness of those around her. She wished for the ability to share her gift of music with the world, to spread joy and peace far beyond her kingdom. Leora smiled warmly and waved her wand. "Your wish is granted, Princess Mira. The magic of the music box will now allow you to share your melodies with anyone, anywhere." As Mira played a final tune on her flute, the music swirled around her and spread across the land. Her melodies reached every corner of the kingdom and beyond, bringing happiness and comfort to all who heard them. The kingdom flourished with newfound joy, and Princess Mira became known far and wide as a beacon of hope and harmony. The legend of the enchanted music box and Mira's selfless wish became a cherished story, inspiring countless others to find magic in their own gifts and share it with the world. And so, the tale of Princess Mira and the enchanted music box lived on, a reminder that true magic lies in the kindness of the heart and the joy of sharing one's gifts with others. In the heart of a vast and mystical forest, there was a small, hidden village known as Eldergrove. The village was renowned for its breathtaking beauty and the harmony between its inhabitants and nature. However, the village had a secret that was known only to its elders. Every century, an enchanted lantern would appear in the forest, holding the key to a powerful magic that could protect the village for another 100 years. This lantern was said to glow with a light so pure that it could dispel any darkness. But it had been missing for decades, and the villagers had grown worried as shadows began to creep into their once joyous land. One sunny morning, a young and adventurous girl named Lyra set out from Eldergrove on an errand to fetch herbs for her grandmother. As she wandered deeper into the forest, she stumbled upon an old, crumbling map partially buried beneath fallen leaves. Intrigued, Lyra carefully brushed off the dirt and examined the map. It depicted the forest and led to a mysterious location marked with an ancient symbol, a lantern. Lyra decided to follow the map, hoping it might lead her to the legendary lantern. With her trusty dog, Bramble, by her side, she embarked on a journey through the forest. The Forest of Echoes. The map guided Lyra and Bramble to the Forest of Echoes, a part of the forest where every sound was amplified and returned with a mysterious echo. The echoes were known to be both beautiful and confusing, often leading travelers astray. As they ventured through the forest, Lyra and Bramble encountered a series of echoes that spoke in riddles. They had to listen carefully and solve each riddle to find their way. The first riddle came from a tree with a voice as gentle as the breeze, I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I? Lyra thought for a moment and realized the answer was the map. She and Bramble followed the path that the echo revealed, which led them to a shimmering waterfall. The Whispering Waterfall. The second clue was hidden behind the Whispering Waterfall, where the water whispered secrets of the forest. Lyra noticed that the whispers seemed to form words when she listened closely. The whispers spoke of a hidden cave behind the waterfall, where the next clue awaited. Lyra and Bramble carefully made their way behind the waterfall and found a small cave. Inside the cave, they discovered a set of ancient symbols etched into the stone. The symbols were the final clue. They needed to decode them to find the lantern's location. The Enchanted Grove. With the symbols deciphered, Lyra and Bramble were led to the Enchanted Grove, a part of the forest where the trees glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. The lantern was said to be hidden here, but its exact location was shrouded in mystery. As they entered the grove, Lyra noticed a circle of ancient, glowing stones. In the center of the circle was a pedestal with an inscription, only the light of true kindness will reveal the lantern's light. Lyra and Bramble spent the day helping the forest creatures, rescuing a trapped fox, nursing an injured bird back to health, and clearing a path for a family of deer. As they performed these acts of kindness, the glowing stones began to shine more brightly. As night fell, the stones illuminated a hidden compartment beneath the pedestal. Inside was the enchanted lantern, glowing softly but not yet at its full potential. Restoring the lantern, Lyra realized that the lantern's light needed to be fully restored by the magic of the forest. She gently took the lantern and placed it in the center of the grove. The forest responded to her kindness, and a magical energy began to flow from the lantern, drawing in the light from the glowing stones and the moonlight above. The lantern's light grew brighter and brighter until it shone with a brilliant, warm glow that filled the entire grove. The once shadowed corners of the forest now sparkled with renewed vitality, and the darkness that had begun to creep into Eldergrove was dispelled. Lyra and Bramble returned to the village, where they were greeted with joy and gratitude. The villagers celebrated the return of the enchanted lantern and the restoration of their beloved forest's magic. Queen Alara, the village's wise and kind leader, presented Lyra with a special medal of honor for her bravery and kindness. The lantern was placed in a prominent spot in the village square, where its light continued to protect and nurture Eldergrove for generations to come. The story of Lyra's adventure became a cherished tale in Eldergrove, reminding everyone of the power of kindness and the importance of protecting the magic that exists within their hearts and their world. And so, the village thrived under the warm light of the enchanted lantern, and the forest remained a place of wonder and magic, cherished by all who lived there. The end.